Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Brian Keeley, as part of the MSP Fugitive Task Force, attempted to bring Samuel Sterling into custody when Mr. Sterling fled by foot. A number of MSP troopers and other local law enforcement agents proceeded to chase Mr. Sterling, both in their vehicles and by foot, when the vehicle Detective Sergeant Keeley was driving turned and struck Mr. Sterling in a nearby fast food restaurant parking lot. Mr. Sterling was transported to the University of Michigan Metro Health Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries later that day. We have found that Detective Sergeant Keeley's actions that day were legally grossly negligent and created a very high risk of death or great bodily harm, which could have otherwise been prevented. As a result, today we filed the following charges against Brian Keeley in the Kentwood 62B District Court. 1 count of murder in the second degree, a life offense, or alternatively, 1 count of involuntary manslaughter, a 15-year felony.
So again, when you watch that video, it's so easy to play armchair quarterback in these situations. So again, I don't know the answers to the questions that I asked regarding what were the felonies that this person was accused of doing, right? I don't know if he has a criminal history past. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of information that comes out. Did he follow policy, the trooper? Now, here's what's unfortunate, and this is why, I went through the police academy back in college, and the atmosphere and the culture of being a police officer back then was a whole hell of a lot different than it is today. And I tell you what, there's no way in hell that I'd want to be a police officer today in this day and age with the corrupt judicial system, with prosecutors like her. I would not. And here's what's happening is they're not getting good quality candidates in these academies now. They're not. And so it's scary. It truly is, because they have created such a culture. And here's a guy who's been on the force for 25 years. And I can't speak for this gentleman, Sergeant Brian Keeley. I don't know him personally, but he's been on the force for 25 years, and he doesn't have any history in the 12 years experience of safely operating police vehicles. He doesn't have one single at-fault accident in the performance of his duties. So again, there's no body camera. I don't know the mindset of the trooper. I can't answer any of those questions, unfortunately. But here we have an attorney general in the state of Michigan who's going to throw the book at a veteran police officer, 25-year veteran trooper. Why would you want to be a cop in today's day and age when you're just trying to protect the public? And again, I don't know the answer to this. I'm assuming, number one, you shouldn't run for the police. It doesn't mean that you should die for running for the police. I'm not saying that. But if you're an outstanding citizen, hey, put your hands up, go through the due process, do what you got to do. Don't run, right? That's going to protect everyone involved. But he did run. So why was he running? I don't know. I can't speak for the mindset of the unfortunate young man who died from being struck from the vehicle. Again, there's just a lot of questions, but I do know it's just a horrible, sticky situation for all involved. So I will be looking for the answers to those questions before I put my 2 cents on it. But I do know that you can't rush to judgment off one video. You have to get all the information. And I've been looking all morning for that information. I've yet to find it on what were the warrants for. Did this guy have a pass? Was he going to be a danger? So I told you all I would update you as soon as I found out. And I had a supporter send me this, which shows this young man's criminal history. And as we go through it, you can see that there are a couple charges that he has in his past, especially with gun possession. So again, I don't know what the officer's intent was when he ran into this person, but as you can see, he does have a history of violent criminal acts. We got weapons carrying concealed back in February 8th, 2021. He was on probation for that. And then we scroll down, we have weapons, firearms possession by a felon back in February 8th, 2021. So again, there's his history, what I found so far. So again, horrible situation for all involved. And so we're just going to have to hold out and see what happens to the trooper.